Hi guys! Welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new legal advice content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first one is titled, Property Line Dispute, New Neighbors, Who is Responsible for Surveyor? Pennsylvania. I'm asking for my parents who are older and not internet savvy. They own around an acre of land which their house sits on, and through the center of their property runs a creek. They bought their property in a rent-to-own agreement, which is fully paid, and the deed is in their name. The property and the property behind theirs were owned by siblings, both of which have told my parents that their property ends at around 20 feet from the front porch of the property behind them, now being called NP, neighboring property. The NP was recently purchased in a foreclosure. The new occupants are claiming they own up to the creek, equal to close to 0.25 acres of land. I've been able to access the parcel map of their county online, which shows my parents' property line being around 20 feet from NP house, definitely including the creek and a shed on the property. The NP owner is claiming this area as his, has requested my parents remove their belongings from what he says is his land and shed immediately. He has knocked on their door with this request, holding a folder of papers saying that this is his proof, but has yet to give them copies or show them the proof. They cannot afford a surveyor. Is it their responsibility to prove ownership of the land or the new neighbors? Would an internet printout of the parcel's map, including the parcel numbers, be sufficient in proving ownership? Update. My parents' new neighbor claimed to own roughly half of my parents' property. He claimed roughly a quarter of an acre and a shed were his according to the land deed he had received when he purchased the property, but refused to provide my parents proof of ownership. I printed the land parcel image I found on the county government page, as well as satellite imagery from Zillow and an independent company, all of which showed the property of my parents' address, including the disputed shed and the majority of the land. The neighbor came to my parents' home again to ask why they hadn't removed their property from his land and shed. My father showed him the printouts and told the guy that if he had any further disputes that they could discuss them in civil court. Supposedly, he left in a hurry, huffing and puffing under his breath. This was about a week ago. The new neighbor returned today to inform my parents he paid a surveyor to look at the deed and was informed that, in fact, my parents do own the shed and property and that he would not be pursuing ownership of it. He apologized, quickly ended the conversation, and left. Thank you to those who gave me input on how to proceed with this. The next one is titled, Owner Sold a Property, Turns Out He Sold All Four He Owned on Same Lot, No One Taking Responsibility. South Carolina. I know the seller of this scenario, family so I care, and I think that he just messed up big time. Let's call him Bob. He owned 4 properties that he built himself on one piece of land, parcel as the county put it, which he purchased 20 plus years ago. Bob always paid taxes for that one parcel every year. He rented his 4 houses out for retirement income at this point as he owned everything outright. One of his renters asked to buy one of the houses that they lived in, and since he wanted some extra cash, Bob said yes to the offer. So, the renter went out and got a mortgage for about $150,000 which covered the house and the land that Bob designated for the house. The closing happened, where the renters/buyers were represented by an attorney, and Bob said it would be fine and he didn't want an attorney. After all, he has experience as an investor because he owns multiple properties, and everything was fine until the former renters got a tax bill. Lo and behold, the tax bill was massive, as it turned out that they were billed for the whole parcel. So, they freaked out and called their bank lender, who referred them to the title company. The title company, after talking to the attorneys and the county, said that Bob never subdivided the parcel of land, so he sold the whole thing, and on top of that he never was authorized to build on the parcel, and the county does not allow for this kind of parcel, zoning, to be subdivided at all. Bob said that he wants to talk to his former tenants and sign some kind of contract that says that he will get the land back along with the other 3 houses. Also, the former renters have, on advice of the bank, title company, hired an attorney who is also trying to help them out in this because they don't want to pay huge taxes, but apparently, it's not going anywhere as of now. So, my question is, can anyone provide some info on this kind of situation? Who messed up? Any possibility to fix? How screwed is Bob, and will the former renters in fact keep the property? Will they have to pay the huge bill? Can the county board fix this if they lobby them? Any input is much appreciated. Thank you. Update. So, Bob was still cheap even after I told him to get an attorney as soon as possible. The former tenant's attorney didn't do jack surprisingly. Bob was asked to submit a survey plat and to update it with the county. He spoke with the county, and they were able to agree that some of the land that he has can be subdivided, just not all of it, which is fine because the land that they ended up subdividing was the one he sold. They just initially told the title company that this land is not divisible, but that was not entirely true, because Bob never spoke to the county and never presented them with his intentions as to the land. So, with the help of bank and title company, because Bob is an idiot and didn't want an attorney, and coordination with the county, a new corrected deed and mortgage and all the other necessary docs were prepared and sent out to be signed a couple of days ago, before Thanksgiving, all at the title company's expense. Of course, the former tenants helped too, as they only sought to help Bob and get it all fixed and were not considering any legal action or anything like that. I believe that he dodged a bullet on this one. And the crappy part is that I don't think that he still learned a lesson out of any of it. To get an attorney at closing, or when things go bad. The next one is titled, Delivery Driver Dropped Laptop at Neighbor's House. They Won't Give It Back. I bought a laptop on Amazon. I have a video camera on my porch. My house number 1407. The house that the package was dropped off at was 1307. The delivery company emailed me that the package was delivered at 6:10 p.m. I never got it, so I watched the video footage and saw the delivery van pull up 2 houses down at that time and drop my package off at that house instead of mine. Simple mistake on their part. I went to 1307 the next day and asked them for my package. The guy was very sketchy, and it was extremely obvious he was lying. He denied having gotten the package and kept telling me he'd ask his wife when she got home. It's the next day and they did not bring me my laptop back like I asked. I contacted Amazon and told them everything. They are sending me a new laptop for free. Still though, my neighbor is a piece of crap for stealing it from me, and I'm wondering if I have any legal recourse? I haven't contacted the police, but I will if they will do anything about it. I'm pretty sure opening someone else's mail is a federal offense and I'd love for that piece of crap to get in trouble for it. Can I do anything? Edit. I'm in the USA. Update. I contacted the police and filed a police report. I forfeited the video footage and told them basically what I wrote here. I was correct. The laptop was delivered to them, and they did open the package and intended on keeping the laptop. The officer on the case talked to them, told them I had them on camera and offered them an out if they returned the laptop to him, which they did. The officer then returned the laptop to me under the circumstances that I return it to Amazon. I've contacted Amazon and they generated a return shipping slip for me, and I will return the laptop as soon as my new one is in my hands. Thanks for the help, really just telling me to file the report, it worked. The next one is titled, My Neighbor is Trying to Start a Homeowner Association. He's harassing people and demanding money. Florida. I live in an older neighborhood, it's not a wealthy area. A lot of people here don't have air conditioning and pretty much all of us hang out laundry outside. We're right next to a nature preserve, so it's a weird mix of suburban and rural. One of my neighbors had suddenly decided that he wants a homeowner association. He's put up signs for meetings. No one shows up, no one else wants a homeowner association and harasses people for hanging their laundry or not having air conditioning, claiming that they're driving the neighborhood down. He's even started to demand money from people. He wants $100 a month for the homeowner association, saying that he'll put a lien on their house if they don't. Can he legally start homeowner association out of nowhere and demand money and put liens on everyone out of nowhere? How can we stop him? Update. Things have gotten worse. A big group of us went to go talk to him. He told us he was going to put liens on all our houses and that we should show him more respect since he supposedly earns more than all of us combined. Then why do you live here? We've pooled enough money for a lawyer to write a cease and desist. Hopefully it will go well. Update 2. We found a lawyer and she sent him a cease and desist letter. It didn't work. He's just gotten creepy instead. He walks around at night, try to look in people's windows. There are no streetlights here, so you can't see him until he's pressed up against the window. He seems obsessed with the whole no air conditioning thing. He's calling CPS on people because of it. Everyone calls the cops when he looks in their windows, but that doesn't seem to discourage, but at least there's a record of it. Update 3. My crazy neighbor's landlord, Turns out that he and his wife are renting the house, came over to apologize for the trouble that my neighbor's been causing and to tell me they're being evicted due to violating the lease. No dogs allowed. So, they should be gone in a week or so. Fortunately, no one had CPS stop by after he reported them for not having air conditioning. The next one is titled, Neighbor has a camera pointing at my front door. I used an infrared blocker on it. Police came and took down my blocker, but not his camera. California. The neighbor has a surveillance camera pointed directly at my front door. It's attached to his wall. It sees nowhere except my front door. This same neighbor has told others that I'm a creepy person. I went and asked him, 3 times, to put it away, and every single time his response has been to duck off and it's his house. I called the police once, he came, asked him to remove it, but he told the police that it's his house and I'm interfering with his business. The police officer told me that there's nothing he can do. So, I went and bought an infrared camera blocker light and I firmly pointed it towards the camera. The blocker was in my house, pointing the infrared light at his camera lens. A couple of days later, a police officer came and asked me to remove that light. I explained the situation. He made a phone call and came back and told me that I'm in the wrong here, as he is just recording light that is being emitted into the air anyway while I'm actively pointing something towards his properties. He said that if he takes legal action there can be consequences for me. I took it down per his instruction but wondered if this is true. WTF do I do about that camera? Can I get into legal trouble if I use the light again? Was the police officer right? My sister tells me that I should install a camera myself, direct it at his front door and see if he likes it. I don't know. Is that a sound way to make him stop? I'm open to any suggestions. Update. So, I went and bought some used security cameras and installed them on my house, pointing at his front door, his back door, and at every one of his windows. It took him less than 18 hours to come and ask me to put them down, where he agreed to put down his camera as well. I told him that I was going to live stream the footage online as well, but it's no longer necessary. We have an agreement now. All cameras are removed. I returned the cameras and got full refund. The last one is titled, Is this a get an attorney problem, or a tell them to get ducked problem? Wisconsin. So, the farmland east of our home sold about a year ago. Yesterday we got a letter in the mail with some forms. Basically, it said we have 7 days to sign and return agreeing to be a part of the homeowner association that is going to be instituted with the homes being built. It claims that this is required and that not returning the form signals our agreement to join the homeowner association. There is no way in hell we're joining a homeowner association. Part of why we bought this home was that it wasn't part of a homeowner association. We have several other families back in our little area. They all got the same letter. Is this legal? Do we need to get a lawyer to fight this? Or can we safely tell them to go duck themselves? The ultimate question is, can a Wisconsin force someone to join, legally? Update. Lawyer says there's nothing they can do. Basically, it's a Wisconsin ploy to try and scaring folks into joining new homeowner associations when subdivisions get built. 2 of the neighbors are also in the clear. Most likely we all are, but she's still going over all the deeds and pertinent paperwork. As for me, I'm sending them a certified letter declining and telling them to get ducked before I leave work today. Crap, that scared me. Thanks for listening.